Alright guys, today we're gonna be watching horror animations. We gotta get into that spooky season, you know what I'm saying? I know it's October 11th, the day I'm recording this shit, but it's because I've been editing another video, but that's gonna be posted some other time. We're gonna start things off with 4 true chilling school lockdown horror stories, animated by MJV Animations. So yeah, go check them out. Probably not gonna react to all 4 of them, but hopefully at least 3.
Nah, what? No joke hitters. Me and bro, we was in the same boat, nigga. No hope, we just share the same coat with a 30 in the waist and a pocket full of dope, nigga.
I was only 16 and in high school at the time of this story. It was just a regular day at school. I had finished my lunch and I was heading back to class when suddenly the intercom came to life. Attention, all students and staff, the principal's voice echoed through the cafeteria. We are now on lockdown. This is not a drill. Please remain in your classrooms until further notice. I felt a chill run down my spine as the chatter in the cafeteria turned into silence. Lockdowns weren't common at our school, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of despair
Where do you even
that was gnawing from the inside of me. I quickly gathered my things and I followed the students as we were being directed to hide in the gymnasium and in the school locker rooms. I checked my
Yo, I get shot. I get killed before going into that damn locker, bro. Fuck no. Hell no. What the fuck? Nah, imagine dying in a locker. Oh my god. Imagine getting shot up in a locker. I'm just imagining that shit. Nah, nah. They never gonna let me live that down, bro.
For some news or updates, but the signal was weak and I couldn't get any information.
Bro, just buy some.
Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the hallway. And I couldn't get any information. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the hallway, followed by screaming.
Oh.
My heart raced as I realized the danger was closer than I had thought it was. I could hear the sound of heavy footsteps approaching from down the hall.
How much you wanna bet he's white?
My classmates and I huddled and we moved faster together, trying to remain as quiet as possible. We had no idea what was coming our way. The seconds ticked by slowly and we all tried to snugly fit together. It was so packed that it took like 5 minutes before I made the split decision. It was taking too long for all of us to fit through the gym and into the locker room as there was just so many of us. I decided to run through one of the open doors in the gym that led outside where the gym teacher was. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he didn't even try to chase me. I ran to the back of the school and through the soccer field, and I hid near the woods. I whipped my phone out and I attempted to call my mom, when suddenly I turned around after hearing, "What are you doing?"
Oh my shit.
It was a familiar face.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I would have done the same shit if it was taking that long. But fuck, you're fucked, bro.
I knew who he was, but not very well. He had been in some of my classes all through the school years growing up, and he was just staring at me with his menacing eyes and brandishing a weapon.
Yeah. R.I.P., bro.
My breath caught in my throat as I looked at him in horror. I couldn't even speak for a second. He had a handgun holstered to his hip and an M4 styled rifle equipped in his hands, and he was pointing it at me.
You just gonna let...
Hey man, don't do this, I said, pleading for help. I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins as he debated on blowing my head off. I stood up and faced him, in the heat of the moment practically thinking this might be the end, and my heart pounding in my chest. To my surprise, I saw a flicker of hesitation in his eyes. I knew I had to try and reason with him, to make him see that there was another way. Man, you have to stop what you're doing, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. This doesn't have to end like this. Please think about what you are doing. To my relief, he actually lowered his weapon after about 5 minutes of pleading with him.
Damn.
And he weirdly broke down and started crying. I could see the desperation and pain in his eyes as he revealed he wanted the pain to end. Without warning, Tanner turned and left me alone, leaving me in a state of perpetual shock.
Damn.
I knew I had to do something though. 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 Couldn't just sit.
Oh, fucking white people. Oh my god. The fuck you mean you gotta do something? No, go home. You're done. You fuck. Bro, I'd be thanking the Lord every day if he left me off the hook like that, bro. This dude wants to go back for more. I'm fucking crying.
There and wait for the worst to happen.
I don't understand people, bro.
I made a split-second decision again, and I decided to leave the school grounds completely.
Okay, good.
I could see the playground in the distance, so I ran towards it, hoping to find somewhere I felt more safe.
Good.
I crouched behind a fence by the swings, trying to catch my breath, and while I figured out what to do next, I suddenly heard footsteps approaching and I knew I had to act fast.
Shit.
Peeking out from my hiding spot, I saw Robert. Oh man, it was nice to see him because he was one of my best friends at the time.
Watching it shot.
And he said he saw me run out of the school when I
wild.
did, and he ended up following me. He said he saw the whole thing where Tanner had me held at gunpoint,
shit.
and he said he almost lost me trying to find me here.
Totally not a fake story.
Tanner didn't go on to hurt anyone that day, unlike he planned. And surprisingly, he willingly let the officers arrest him. It's crazy how I had barely escaped a terrible outcome. I ran home as fast as I could and told my mom everything while she hugged me and we cried. Tanner was a kid who had been bullied his whole life. That obviously doesn't give him the right to kill people, but man, something in our world needs to change.
Yeah, nah, you deserve to get bullied.
They gon' miss you and I'm going in front on back wings. Look, miss you once I'm gonna put on axe then. Feeling supposed to know, but I'm still feeling. I hope all my dogs go out go dealing if they kill me, nigga.
In 2017, in my last semester of high school, my friends and I decided to skip the pep rally for the girls' varsity basketball team, making the playoffs for the first time.
Oh, nah,
my last period of the day was...
Hold on, what the fuck you say?
In my last semester of high school, some friends and I decided to skip the pep rally for the girls' varsity basketball team, making the playoffs for the first time.
Huh? I was gonna say, why is the pep rally scheduled at the same time as a game, but...
I was just taking it as a fine arts credit, and two friends of mine in the grade below me were in that class with me. We decided to skip the pep rally, leave school early, and go to the nearby Taco Bell like we did every day. However, administrators and security guards patrolled the parking lots to catch kids trying to skip. So we took a detour through the nature trail on campus in order to avoid them. Once in the nature trail, we came across this kid I hadn't seen before. He was a skinny white kid with shaggy black hair.
What the fuck is this? Yo, hell no, bro. First of all, you trusting this shit? I'm not trusting this shit, bro.
Wearing baggy jeans and a plain white t-shirt. He was shorter than me, but the most notable thing about him was his general look of dishevelment. His hair was wild and full of leaves and
now this is where you fucking
twigs.
Run.
And his plain white t-shirt was dirty and the knees of his jeans were stained green and brown. He looked like he had been crawling around in the trail.
My fault, I'll start yapping.
I remember wondering if he lived there for a split second. When we came up upon him, we were walking in one direction, parallel to the school and to the back of the parking lot, and he was coming directly toward us. I knew the nature trail well enough to know that there was a bend that led deep into the woods, and I figured he had come from there. He was out of breath and he seemed scared.
Oh no.
Weird. My two friends said hi to him, because my friends were in the grade below me and later told me that the kid was in their grade and were just acquaintances with my two friends.
Okay.
It was supposed to be just a quick hello, but I couldn't help but notice how scared he looked and how suspicious he seemed of us. He asked us what we were doing in the woods, and we told him we were skipping the pep rally. One of my friends asked, "What have you been doing out here? Camping?" Me and my other friend gave a nervous laugh, but the kid didn't crack a smile. He explained that he was dropped off at school that morning and was supposed to get on a bus to take him to DAEP, which is the alternative school that kids who got suspended from school went to. His plain outfit started to make sense now. It was the infamous uniform of the alternative school. He then explained that he didn't want to go to the alternative school, so when his mom dropped him off, he pretended like he would wait for the bus and then hide in the trail for the full 8 hours of the school day.
Man,
he was still acting really skittish though, and without even looking at each other or speaking to each other, my friends and I could feel that something wasn't right with him, and that we were in some kind of danger. The kid looked around nervously often, as if seeing if someone might have followed us or if we were alone in the woods. Not long after this, we hit him with a, "Alright man, well, good luck. We're going to try to get to our cars and go home before the pep rally ends."
You wanna ride? No.
When he heard the word cars, he perked up. He started walking with us towards the parking lot.
I fucking knew he was gonna do that shit too.
Continuing to talk.
Fuck. Look at him.
He becomes a lot more friendly and asks if we can give him a ride home. We give him some half-baked excuse as why we couldn't do that.
Yeah,
you know, we didn't expect him to ask that because I never met him and my friends barely knew him. But he really wasn't taking no for an answer. He tells us that people were going to start looking for him pretty soon, that he was going to be in a lot of trouble.
Tough.
We told him that he'd probably be fine hiding there in the woods. But he tells us, "Nah, man, you don't understand. I broke into a car at the fellowship." He then pointed in the direction of the megachurch that had a parking lot that backed up to my school.
So you gonna bring it to my car?
I took this. From his waistband, he pulled out a handgun, and I felt sick to my stomach. I had never seen a gun in real life before. At this point, I felt in danger. Not just because he pulled a gun. I had never really been scared of them. More so that the entire interaction felt uneasy,
Bro, I'm not
and
gonna
that the
lie,
guy
I
was
would've caught a
already
left hook.
unsettling and desperate. One of my friends very cautiously tells him that he should probably just ditch it and take off somewhere. He just stood there, staring at us for an uncomfortable amount of time. His eyes were meeting each of ours. I broke the silence by saying that we wouldn't tell anyone, but that we really had to go before the pep rally ended.
The fuck?
And my other stupid-ass friend, who had been virtually silent the entire time, spoke up and said,
What the
"Yeah, and it's best we're not around if they start looking for you for that," gesturing to the handgun. His eyes narrowed, and once more he asked if one of us could take him home. This time it felt more like a command.
I'll take you home, okay?
I've never been a super brave person, but in that moment, I don't know why I just blurted out, "Nah, man, I'm good."
Damn.
Again, there was an uncomfortable silence. Then he asked, "Before you leave, do you guys want to see something?" My first friend was kind of a hothead, and although he was uncomfortable with the situation, I don't think he was afraid of conflict. Nor was I.
Yeah, but you got
my
a
other friend,
fucking
however,
gun.
was not a fan of conflict and would always
I'm
de-escalate
not a fan
first.
either, but fuck, he got a gun.
We all looked at each other, and me and my first friend kind of had an unspoken understanding, like, this is going to happen. If we have to run or fight, we might have to do it now.
Hey, bro, if you get bitched, at least no
My
one's
other
looking.
friend was very visibly afraid.
I'd run.
He asked,
Shit.
"What do you want to show us?" And before the kid could answer, my first friend said, "We don't want to see. We have to go."
Yeah,
My first friend started briskly walking past the kid, and me and the other friend quickly followed. Within a few steps, we just started sprinting towards the parking lot. I looked back once we were about 50 steps away, and he was still standing there watching us run.
Yo, I thought he was gonna put the gun
He had
out.
put the gun back in his waistband before taking a small adjacent trail back deeper into the woods. By the time we made it to the parking lot, there were police everywhere.
That's good.
We were sweating, out of breath, and terrified. They found the kid in the next 10 minutes or so. Somehow in the chaos, nobody saw us exit the nature trail and into the parking lot. But since there were so many cops in the parking lot, we decided to just head back inside through another side door to find that the door was locked. That's when an administrator had found us, brought us inside, and shoved us into a classroom where we were able to talk with others and find out exactly what was going on. This is what we could piece together from what we learned. Turns out that the kid had skipped DAEP, like he said, hid in the nature trail, broke into a car at the church, and stole a semi-automatic shotgun and a handgun from the car. After stealing the guns, he texted his girlfriend. This
motherfucker got a girl. Yo, I swear, bitches is... Yo, bitches get me fucking tight, bro. How you fall for a man like this, bro? And not me! Like, bitch!
He told her explicitly how he was going to hurt some kids at the school.
Oh yeah, she fine shit.
She knew he was supposed to be in class and was so worried about the text that she contacted the police. The school was put on lockdown
I know you couldn't see it because of my webcam, but...
until officers got a call from a guy at the church that 2 guns had been stolen from his car behind the school. And that's when they put 2 and 2 together and caught him hiding in the woods.
That shit
I
looks
guess
so
when he
wrong.
saw me and my 2 friends in the nature trail, he quickly hid the shotgun but didn't have time to hide the pistol. Or maybe he didn't care enough to hide it.
Yeah, I wouldn't care enough either. That's it? Oh, that pussy ass. But, I mean, it's not the worst. Like, nothing happened. It's not like someone got shot.
You wanna rock with us, the gang, fuck with us, baby, come love your squad with us, your gang can fuck with us, baby, come love.
So I guess it's been about 9 years or so now, which seems pretty unbelievable to me.
Damn, 9 years.
It's such a vivid memory that it almost seems fresh, but I think that may also be because I've repeated it so many times by now that I pretty much have an entire monologue memorized, recounting exactly what I experienced. Seems pretty weird to say it, but I was definitely lucky in some way. Luckier than most. I knew some kids that saw a lot more of what happened that day than I did. In my opinion, I've pretty much moved on from the shooting, and I haven't really suffered from any long-term emotional scars, but a few of those guys ended up pretty screwed up from it all. I know one girl who was super out.
Damn. Hold on. The animator. What's good with this animator? This anime got a little too excited.
Young and smart before the shooting. She ended up dropping out of school our junior year because of a heroin problem. Or that's the rumor, at least.
Oh.
A few years ago, my sister found out that she had overdosed after she got out of rehab, leaving her 2 small kids with only their elderly grandparents left to raise them. Unfortunately, a seemingly large part of my former classmates have also struggled with severe emotional problems and depression.
What the fuck?
Which definitely resulted from that day. Anyways, I guess I'll start this off like I always do.
I'm fucking 3 minutes into this fucking story and nothing has happened.
I remember it being one of the last few weeks of freshman year. It was cloudy, as it often is during the springtime in Oregon. What I remember thinking that was initially odd about that day is that it seemed much too warm for the sun to be hidden behind such a thick layer of clouds. It was hot, sticky, humid, and overall extremely uncomfortable. The high temperatures had forced almost all the students and teachers to the courtyard during passing time, 10 minutes between classes, in order to achieve some temporary relief from the stuffy, non-air conditioned classrooms that we were stuck in all morning. I have 2 sisters. One is a year younger and still in middle school at the time. My older sister was a sophomore, but happened to be home with a stomach flu that entire week.
Oh,
Thank
shit.
God.
Yeah.
It was a Friday, and I remember everyone was really looking forward to our long Memorial Day weekend. My parents were supposed to take my sisters and I out for a weekend at a nearby resort in town, which is a popular thing to do among our community. I spent the entire time before school making plans with friends and chatting about the various 15-year-old shenanigans we would partake in. To say that our weekend plans had changed would be an understatement. I had PE first period that quarter, and we spent the time playing flag football out on the stadium turf behind the school. Since I had a free second, I volunteered to take the equipment back to the supply closet in the upstairs gym, while everyone else went to the locker rooms to get ready for their next classes. We had 2 gyms and locker rooms on the west side of the school, and a large enclosed courtyard separating them from the other classrooms and administration office. I had finished putting the cones, pennies, and whatnot in their place, and headed downstairs to the locker room,
teacher's pet. I got you.
deciding to leave the supply closet open for the next gym period, which has turned out to be the single best decision I've ever made in my entire life. I had nearly gotten to the bottom of the stairs when I heard a loud pop, pop, pop.
Damn.
I stopped dead in my tracks as my mind tried to process the noise I just heard. My confusion turned to horror as I heard the screams and saw everyone left on the west side of campus, sprinting down the hallways and through the closest door they could find and slamming them shut. I turned running back upstairs as fast as I could and heard 5 more gunshots by the time I got back to the closet, and I shut the door behind me.
Oh.
All I could do was sit in the corner and bury my head in my knees, sobbing. I heard 3 more scattered gunshots, then nothing. Nothing for what felt like an eternity.
Damn, this would have been a lot better with sound effects.
Can't even begin to describe how slow time was passing. I had absolutely no sense of time because my cell phone was still downstairs in the locker room. And there was no way in hell I was leaving the safe blackness of the supply closet.
Word.
The worst part about
Bro, if it was me, I would have stayed till midnight. No, not even. I'd stay till the next day. I'm not coming out.
Being in the closet was not being able to talk to my mom and let her know I was okay. I just sat there and cried, praying and thanking any God who would listen to me that my sister was safe at home.
Any God is crazy.
I would have driven myself insane with worry if I was stuck alone in that closet and not knowing whether or not my sister was okay. I sat and waited. Waited for what felt like either was going to be my safety or my death. It seemed like hours before I heard the footsteps. There's no way to describe the feeling of being alone in total darkness, overwhelmed with this amount of fear. All of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was completely alone. I heard 2 sets of footsteps running up the stairs and into the gym, and then nothing. Until I was startled to near death as one final pop radiated through the gym rafters. My ears rang as I attempted to accept my impending death, in the fetal position on the floor as footsteps headed slowly toward the closet door. I watched the strip of light under the door as a shadow of 2 feet blocked the light, and I was overcome with terror. I heard the doorknob shake aggressively, and I began to sob, thinking of losing the chance to see my family again, that my fate was stuck in the hands of an angry psychopath on a shooting spree, looking for the opportunity to execute me as I crouched helplessly in a dark and lonely closet. Before I knew it, the doorknob had been broken off. The next few moments are the most vague in my memory as a member of the SWAT team pulled me to my feet and ran with me by his side. It was so fast my feet barely felt the ground. He kept my head down, but that didn't hide everything. I saw so much blood under my feet on the pathways as the officer rushed me through my school courtyard and murder scene. I didn't know him, but I heard of him from my sister. He was a junior at the time and a very depressed and bitter boy. I guess he had few friends, if any, and always seemed to have a temper.
How much?
She witnessed him one
He was white. I knew it.
time throw desks, and
Or
sometimes
was that for the other story? Either way, they all white, so there's a pattern here. I don't know.
would have huge temper tantrums in the class when he didn't understand the material. From what I've been told, this is more or less what went down. As I was finishing up in the supply closet, there was an altercation in the courtyard involving the gunman. He had words with another student and pulled out his gun, shooting the other kid 3 times before opening fire on the crowd as chaos ensued following the first round. After fatally shooting both the student and a language arts teacher, he ran into the west wing of the school and hid underneath the bleachers in the downstairs gym for a while. After a while, his cover was blown, and he ran upstairs to the gym where I was followed by an officer, and then was shot and pronounced dead, which I didn't see, thank God. It was a pretty terrifying experience, and I suffered from a lot of anxiety for a while after this, but I've lived a pretty successful life since then. One thing I've taken away is that no matter where I am, I always make a point to eye the nearest escape and plan of action, just in case.
Facts. You should have done that regardless, but yeah. Alright, last story. Alright, this one's like 7 minutes long, 8 minutes long. Alright, yeah, let's get to it.
This happened just a few days ago. For reference, I frequent a certain local alt hangout spot just about every night to have a few drinks and hang out with my crowd of regulars, who are almost like my family. Spring break for a lot of people was last week, which meant that a lot of old friends and former regulars came back to town and spent some nights at the bar like old times.
Yeah.
Among this disparate group of people is a friend of mine whose identity I will protect by referring to them as Allison. Allison is very cute, but we were never that close and we never hooked up. So I'm courteously stuck in the friend zone, so to speak.
I didn't say that.
But that's not a problem for me, as I'm not interested in making things weird between us, or forcing myself into a long-distance relationship. I can be a gentleman.
Clearly
anyway,
not,
Allison likes to drink a lot. Most of us around this place has some kind of developing substance issue. Since she's a small, attractive female, all of her friends, myself included, make sure to look out for her when she gets drunk, just to make sure that nobody gets a chance to try anything nefarious. Recently, though, something despicable very nearly happened.
Someone poured some
It was the night of St. Patrick's Day, and I was very drunk and high after hanging out with my old friends who were in town. I had a blackout between 2 and 3 in the morning, but by 4, I was back in my body and sobering up.
Don't tell me someone shot up the place.
The only people still hanging out at the time were myself, Allison, a friend of mine, and the owner of the establishment.
Damn.
We bummed around for a while until about 5 when the owner finally kicked us out. That left just me, Allison, and our mutual friend in the parking lot. We were having our last little chat for the night and about to say goodbye when something very unexpected happened. Allison's ex-boyfriend Lily freaking appeared out of nowhere, just pulling up to the parking lot in the middle of the night.
Oh.
I hadn't seen him around all evening,
I know he
and
mad
it's not
as hell.
uncommon for Allison to sleep in her car after everyone else leaves. So it was quite that he had come just to see her.
Yeah, no shit.
I'll call him Josh. When he appeared, all 3 of us traded a look. I was immediately glad that I and my friend were still there, and that Josh hadn't successfully pulled up on Allison while she was alone. As if he had pulled up just a few minutes later, he would have been knocking on her car door in an otherwise completely empty parking lot. It's less important, but Josh is a little older and a cocaine addict, and wants Allison to be his little punk rock doll. They split months ago, the last time Allison left town. But Mance has been picking the scab the entire time. He won't just move on, you know? It's not like any of us hated him, it's just that he's not a good match, and everybody can see that except him. Of course, he started acting extremely clingy that night. We were all pretty much wasted except for him, and I could tell by the way he looked at us that he knew this. When he started to stand so close to Allison that she took steps away and tried to hug her for old time's sakes, or whatever he said. I went back to the back door of the bar and tried to get the owner to come out to help survey the situation.
Oh,
But unfortunately, the whole place was locked up and his car was gone already. By the time I got back, my old friend was saying goodbye.
oh hell, bro, these motherfuckers are the worst people to be around, bro. You telling me you just gonna leave her, and then your friend leaves her? What the fuck? Nah, L friends, bro. L friends.
I dapped him up and I pulled him in a bit, trying to give him a look in the eyes that said, "Don't you dare leave," but he didn't get it. Then it was just me, Allison, and Josh. Allison tried to say goodnight and sleep in her car. But this was the moment that Josh had been waiting for since he saw the rest of us there. He said, "No, that's not safe. Let me just give you a ride home." I immediately tried to counteract this by saying how she's always done this and it's never been a problem, and how Allison had been talking about sleeping in her car for almost an hour and probably just wanted to follow through with what she had planned.
Yeah.
But none of this worked. Josh was extremely pushy, and I never put my foot down hard enough. Eventually, Allison caved and accepted the ride. We all said goodbye and got into our cars, then sat in the parking lot for...
Oh, fucking hell, bro. Yo, y'all some bitches, bro. Y'all some fucking bitches, bro. Yo.
For a minute.
I know it's not real. I know it's not a real story, but fucking hell, that shit pissed me off.
The whole time I heard this voice in my head that told me not to let her get in the car with him.
No shit.
I was so faded, I could barely listen to it. However, I was still in the presence of mind to look out for my friend, despite how nervous I was about the situation. As they pulled out, I got in line behind them. We rolled through to the exit together, where we both should have turned right. But then, Josh made a left turn. My heart jumped into my throat. I knew full well that Allison didn't live down that way, but it seemed like Josh was counting on me not knowing her well enough to be aware of that, but he was wrong. Took a deep breath and gave them about 5 seconds of follow distance, then made a left turn to follow them. I left plenty of room, but made sure I could still see where they were going. I had to run 2 red lights just to not let them get too far ahead, though, which made me worried that I was about to get pulled over or something. The longer it went on with them going the wrong way, the more sure I was that something was up. Eventually, Josh made another left turn into a side street. I sped up and careened into the turn, knowing they could make another random turn and lose me, but I wasn't even sure if they were aware I was following them. As soon as I made the turn, though, I swore I couldn't see them. There were no taillights on the road, but luckily there weren't too many other turns that they could have made. Luckily, just a few seconds later, as I was slowly rolling through the neighborhood, I saw Josh's car. They were parked on the side of the street with their lights already off. I swore again, with malice and anger this time, then pulled up in the spot right in front of his car. I left it running in park and quickly got out. I didn't even have a second to look out into their windshield, because they were both already getting out. It was a hectic few seconds that followed. Allison slammed the door behind her and ignored both of us completely, walking to my car with her arms crossed, jumping into my passenger seat and slamming the door too.
What the fuck?
The whole time, Josh was yelling at her to come back. He even started to walk up to her, but I stopped him. I don't even think I said anything to him. I just gave him a look that told him to back off. He clenched his jaw in a way that made me tense up, expecting a sucker punch to come my way. But then he just pushed me back and muttered something venomous as he turned around and got back into his car.
So you're gonna let bitch you like that? Nah, I'm playing shit.
In that moment, as he turned around and got back into his car.
Nah, but I would've got mad there. Nah.
In that moment, actually, I was the most
afraid. He looked like me too.
Because in this country, somebody you're in a fight with,
getting
getting back into their car means 2 things. They're either backing off or grabbing their gun. I literally ran back into my car and sped off faster than I ever have in my life. Once I got back on the road, and on the way to Allison's house, I tried talking to her. She was totally clammed up and curled into a ball in my passenger seat. The most I got was when I asked if I needed to call the police, and to that I got a very slight head shake to indicate no. When we were passing the bar, she finally spoke, asking me to not drop her off at home and let her sleep in her car. I obliged, figuring she probably didn't want to interact with her parents. I helped her in and made sure it was locked up.
Wait, how was this?
Then I sat in my car and watched over her until sunrise, when other cars finally started pulling in.
How's this a fucking for true chilling school lockdown story? This ain't even school. I just got clickbaited.
Next day, she was back at the bar and trying her best to act normal. When I got her inside, I asked her about it again and double checked if I should have called the cops. She again said no, but this time added that it was only because I got there when I did. My heart sank when she said that, and I told her she should at least tell a few close friends about this, to which he agreed. Now, Josh is basically the same on-site order as a neo-Nazi. We may not be the best group of our friends on account of how we enable each other's self-destructive habits, but god damn it, when it comes to certain things, we look out for each other.
Clearly not, bro. What the fuck? Like, you just let her go off with a fucking drug addict. Like, no, you're fucking weird too. Like, nah, that last one pissed me off, bro. It wasn't even a school horror story either. Like, what the fuck? Oh, the third one was like the only real one. That's gonna do it for today. If you like seeing these videos, link me some. I'll probably react to them before Halloween. If not after, you never know. Protect your friends. Moral of the story. I don't care how pussy you are. Protect your friends, bro. Peace out, chill, be safe. All glory to God. You know what I'm saying? All that. Peace out. Bye.
Man, you just got me some gas and Johnny got Molly. They said it's both mine. I can't mix the